أبو مهند. أوكي يا إخوان، مساء الخير أعزائي الحضور. أهلا وسهلا بكم في لقائنا لهذه الليلة، ليلة 7 من نيسان أبريل 2026. محاضرتنا تحمل عنوان Ethical Artificial Intelligence، وهو موضوع يستقطب اهتمام شرائح كثيرة من المجتمع الإنساني في عصرنا الحاضر، لما للذكاء الاصطناعي من حضور متزايد وتأثير مباشر في مختلف مجالات الحياة، وما يرافق ذلك من تساؤلات مشروعة حول أبعاده الأخلاقية. يسعدنا أن يكون محاضرنا لهذه الليلة الدكتور رشيد الصفار، وهو أحد مؤسسي المنتدى، الذي يعود له ولزملائه المؤسسين الآخرين الفضل في إنشاء هذا الصرح الثقافي المهم. والدكتور الصفار قدم إلى هذا المنتدى على مدى السنوات الماضية العديد من المحاضرات القيمة في مجالات مختلفة، منها التاريخ والأدب والعلوم والفيزياء وتكنولوجيا المعلومات. وهذا التنوع المعرفي الواسع يعكس ثقافته الموسوعية الغنية وحرصه الدائم على نشر المعرفة. هذه نبذة قصيرة عن حياة الدكتور رشيد المهنية. ولد في مدينة بغداد 1962، حاصل على شهادة الدكتوراه في علم المواد من جامعة مانشستر إنجلترا في العام 1992. عمل في المجال الأكاديمي في كل من بريطانيا وماليزيا وكندا حتى سنة 1996. ابتدأ العمل في شركة IBM كندا من عام 1997 وحتى يومنا هذا، ويشغل الآن منصب Senior Chief Technological Architect. وللدكتور رشيد عدد من الشهادات المهنية التخصصية الأخرى، كما أن له أكثر من 20 مقالا وبحثا علميا منشورا. وقبل ما يبدأ دكتور رشيد المحاضرة، يرجى إغلاق الميكروفونات مرة ثانية، وملاحظة أن المحاضرة ستستغرق تقريبا 45 دقيقة، من 45 إلى 50 دقيقة. تتبعها أسئلة وتعليقات لا تتعدى دقيقتين لكل مشارك. سينتهي اللقاء في تمام الساعة 10:30 مساء. استماعا طيبا. تفضل دكتور رشيد.
شكرا جزيلا أبو محمد على المقدمة اللطيفة، ونشكر أعضاء المنتدى والحضور الكرام. وإن شاء الله اليوم المحاضرة تعجبكم وتتلقى رضاكم. المحاضرة حتكون بالعربي وبالإنجليزي، بس أنا أشوف أنه أكثر المصطلحات بالإنجليزي، فحاول أبقى بالإنجليزي. أحد الأشخاص قال لي، يعني في أحد المحاضرات السابقة مو هنا الخارجية، قال لي أنت عندك مشكلة تحكي بالعربي؟ قلت له لا، ما عندي مشكلة بحكي بالعربي، بس من تحكي بشغلات التكنولوجي والاي تي از مور سهلة إنه إلي إنه أقدر أحكيها بالإنجليزي. محاضرتنا اليوم الاي اي ان اثيك. انا اختاريت المحاضره الاي اي اثيك لعده اسباب، لان احنا في، مثل ما تفضل استاذ ابو محمد، احنا لا نقولها الريفوليوشن الثالثه او الرابعه. حتغير العالم، تغير الانسان، تغير بالنسبه شلون حنباوع على التعليم، الثقافه، الطب، العلم. بس اكو مشكله كبيره هي الاثيك. فذلك هذا أحد المواضيع أنا يعني مهتم بها، شغلات الأثيك والريليشن مالتها ويا الاي اي. المحاضرة كلها حضرتها السلايدات كلها بالاي اي، لأن من حق ما دام نحكي بالاي اي لازم نستخدم كل التكنولوجيا افيلبل بالاي اي. وبالضافة انه هي مو سهلة انه الاي اي تحكي وياه ويحضر لك المحاضرة. لازم يهاب عندك الايديا، عندك الفكرة، عندك التسلسل مالت القصة، بداية ميدل النهاية، تحضر البرومبت او الاسئلة تريد تسأليها للاي اي. وطبعا تطب خلال محاضرة انه التنقيح والريفيو والادجستمنت and all of that يعني. المحاضرة بالحقيقة بنهاية المحاضرة انه نريد نجاوب هاي الاسئلة. Is AI artificial? Is it AI intelligent? Is it AI ethical? Is it AI safe? Is it AI evil, dangerous? Is it AI is going to take our job? Is it AI more or less is going to help us or basically to augment our work? So these بعض الأسئلة نحاول نجاوب عليها خلال المحاضرة اليوم. المحاضرة متقسمة إلى 3 دومين أو 3 شابترات. الشابتر الأول نحكي على evolution of ethics, tradition والcustom. In order for us to understand AI and ethics, so we have to go back in the history. So that's the reason initially I said when you want to work with AI, you have to develop the story in your head or in your thinking, and then AI will help you basically more or less save you time and give you a lot of ideas. بس شوف شلون حصير. فأول شيء لازم الدومين 1 نحكي على السوسايتي فاليو الجوفرنس across time. في الانترودكشن تو هيستوريكال ايفولوشن بتلاحظون الصورة على هاي. بالحقيقة هاي سألت اياي قلت له اريد صورة بحيث تعطيني الهيستوريكال ايفولوشن. الاي فيري سمارت انف. اذا تلاحظ الصورة لها معنى انه تبدي من الانسان العصر القديم الى انسان العصر الجاي. The purpose of the presentation in domain 1, we're talking about the social norm, we're talking about the legal framework and the influence of religion and democracy. فالسوشيال نورم يعني الأثيك، التراديشن، الكاستم، العادات، التقاليد، كلها هاي تدخل and develop in a human being over long time. فذلك يعني we don't get today the law and the order and social interaction is always built over thousands of years. And then we talk about the legal framework, which is basically, developing the law, the legal system, the court, and all the things which is related to it. بعدين ندخل بinfluence religion and democracy. واحد يسأل the question is what is يعني شنو religion do with the democracy itself. فالreligion هو ethics and democratical principle having significant influence on the moral philosophy and social governance. So that is very important. The religion developed over time, for thousands of years, has an influence on the human being, their thinking, their philosophy, and their things. So you go with. We're talking about Asian civilization. If we look at the Asian civilization, we talk about Mesopotamia. Of course, everybody, when you hear Mesopotamia, especially the Iraqi people, they say, oh, the Code of Hammurabi, we are the first people to develop the code and the order and all of that. The Egypt, they have the Mata, which is the concept of a truth and order. India, and then China. So remember, this slide is generated by AI by asking a few questions. Sometimes the AI, and some people say, well, this is biased because they're only talking about Mesopotamia and Egypt and India and China. Okay, what about the other civilization, the Maya civilization as an example? So that's what we talk about, the ethic and how you're going to govern AI to make sure is that the information are not biased, information is right, information is really, it make more sense to that. But remember, this is generated by AI. If you ask AI again on this slide and say, hey, how about the Maya civilization? Probably he's going to change the slide and basically he will add it or he give you another prompt. So in the Middle Ages, the influence of religion influence and the feudal order. The feudal order هو الإقطاعيين يعني. First religion moral code. Christianity and Islam has a moral code, influence government, personal conduct in the Middle Ages. The same thing, there are few religions, world religion is missing from this statement. So is it AI is telling that is giving you the right answer? No. It's give you basically how it's being trained to provide you the answer. But if you challenge him and ask him more questions, probably in the next statement will be, well, Christianity and Judaism and Islam shape the moral code. So what I'm trying to get to the point, whatever AI give you is not really, you take it for granted. You have to sanitize it. You have to verify it. You have to judgment as a human being. because the human being, if you look to their thinking, they develop the rational thinking, and they keep asking questions. And that basically then the things about the human being, all the time they are inquisitive, they're asking questions, they don't accept the real what they have in front of them. That's the reason the human being become the most intelligent species in the world we know it today. Then it was interesting things when I did ask AI, say he gave me this one, canon and Sharia law. If you present this one to, let's say, other group of audience, oh my God, there is a Sharia law, what we talking about here? So there is the canon law, Sharia law, integrated spiritual and legal obligation guidance through medieval society. Then the feudal system, which is al-Iqta' with custom heritage. And then if you look at the end, the development of the common law we know it today came as an evolution of all the code and the custom and the things that came from all the world to came what we know the judicial system today, the court and the law and order type of thing. So as we move to the Renaissance and the Enlightenment period, we go to see we are shifting from a feudal, from religious code to more or less what is a human and traditional thought. So basic shifting to a human-centric ethic. Philosophy is basically introduced in our thinking, in our understanding. We look at things differently. And then we came to the legal reform and equality. We're talking about the human right, the human equality. Everybody had to live as a human being. They have the right. They have the right for education, the right have for health services and all of that. But remember, I want to point you to come to the point. Try to answer the first question, is it AI intelligent? Okay. That's really, it come down, and we'll answer it later, is that, and then we come down, the next phase, we come to the Industrial Revolution and modern era. So basically, the legalization of the modern code and social changes we know. So Industrial Revolution is basically introduces that, spark a new law about the labor right, the child protection, the workplace safety, then develop to the global legal framework. We know and talk about the global trade, international court order, international, all of these things being developed. And then most recently, we're talking about the human right and the modern law, which is more or less in the 20th century. And that basically is an evolution of the two World War I and World War II. And now this is really the human beings start thinking, say, oh my God, we are facing two wars, devastating all the world. So there is a human right, they have to live and all of that. And then in the late 60s, where we came the technology and the law order. Technology really picked up its speed in the late 50s and today, and basically got accelerated in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, and to reach basically its summit in the year 2000 and today. So really, the reason in order for you to understand ethic or to make sense about AI is that basically you have to go through this evolution to get to. So now the key point we talk about, ancient, the development, the old time, they codify the law of moral code, tradition and all of that. Middle Ages, where is the religion start interact in it, and basically, the Al-Iqta' or the feudal order is starting. And the Enlightenment period, when the people start reading and the books become possible, printing is started, basically talking about, the democratic principle. Industrial Revolution give us the labor and law order, and the modern era, we're talking about the human right, everybody has the right to live and all the governance. So in domain one, in summary, I gave you an example is that this is, remember, developed over 5,000 years, okay? So that will answer the question, is it really AI intelligent? Well, we're not going to answer it now, it will go to later. So we talked about the law. Now we need to talk about domain 2 or chapter 2, we're talking about technology. AI does not come from a vacuum. AI is really hinging on a technology. And this technology won't be possible today unless really we started from the 1960s. Actually, even before that, if you remember the tube, the diode, and then we moved to the transistor, and then we moved to the printed circuit board, and then we went to the wafer, and then we went to the integrated circuit, and then we went to, you know, to all the technology. So there is an evolution coming. So AI did not really, AI, I will call it, is basically is like a tofeli, or basically is living on a technology, an invention, a human being been working on it for the last 100 years. So for AI need infrastructure. What is an AI to live? He need, as a human being, he need oxygen, he need water, he need you know, something, a place to live in, and all of that. So without this infrastructure, and if you haven't seen infrastructure, some of you is really, I had the opportunity to work in a company that I enter these data center, they call them, and you won't believe it, how huge and how big, and the computer system in it is a massive. And if you see the light flashing now, rows and rows and rows of these type of things is flashing and basically working, and the amount of the heat generated is unbelievable. You cannot stay between the racking or the alleys more than 10 or 15 minutes. Either you are get the cold or you get the heat out of it. So the infrastructure AI, so what is the role of infrastructure? Is basically is the breathing engine for the AI. I'm not going to boring you about it, but really an AI to work, he need a data, he need a computer chip, and he need something, a place to live in. On the top of that is really the human being ingenuity, which is basically they develop the model. The model, you hear AI model. AI is basically is a coding, and that code, we call it a large scale model. And this model developed by a human being, and this module is basically hungry for computing power. And that's computing power come from the chip. The chip need to be designed, integrated, able to process a huge amount of information in a we're not talking about, you know, the millisecond. We're talking about the nanosecond type of thing. Okay, so in order to do that, I want to spend a little bit time on the data. AI is useless without data. Okay, I remember 30 years ago, I attended a conference for the company I work for, and one guy came along and he was talking about the early phase of the web services, you know, the internet we know today. Okay, I'm grateful that really I joined the revolution of the internet from day one. So I know a lot of the elder stuff. So this guy came along and he came a lecture, and what he started talking about, he said in the future, and I still remember it very well. He said in the future, you're not going to read a newspaper. Remember, this is in 1996. He say, you know, you're going to open your laptop or computer, whatever at that time, and he said, you're going to get a summarization of the information around the world, you know, what happened in the world, and you get it in a small bite. And you're going to read that, and you decide, you click on it, and then you expand, and it'll go there. So basically, we're talking about something going to schedule your work, something is got you going to read the news, the financial market, and all of that. And me and my friend, I mean, I'm sorry to say, for our ignorance at that time, I say, what the hell this guy is talking about? You know, you get all the newspaper from the world delivered to you in front of you. Because at that time, the technology, he said it cannot support it. So AI is all about data. So the question to you is that where is this data? Do you know, as an example, that the insurance company, they keep data for 99 years. Insurance policy kept by law for the insurance company 99 years. In this insurance policy, just to give you an example, And all of these is safe to computer, to disk, basically, or storage. Basically, you have the gender, the age, how long he lived, how much money he has, and all of that. And all these data, the challenge we had before is that what we are going to do with this massive data. Bank, by the way, keep data at least for 7 years. Some laws and some companies and some rules and regulation, government, they keep it maybe for 50 years. So the problem was a huge amount of data. So AI basically, when it came, so in order to process this data had to be sanitized, had to be verified, had to be categorized, and had to basically bring them in bucket type thing. Because AI, if you look at it, is not a search engine. AI is a search engine on a steroid. Basically, is the engine of the AI is the large logical model, LLM, for that. AI need data. So if you ask your questions, where is the other questions say, where is this data? Do you know that when you browse you go every morning and you browse, you go on your computer and you go to CNN, or you go to Amazon to buy things and everything? Actually, this is data. You are providing data on your behavior, what you are shopping, and all of that. And all of these get tracked, by the way. Get tracked through things probably you heard about it, cookies. All these get tracked, collected to understand your behavior, what you do shopping. And suddenly, if you click, you want to buy a car, and suddenly you get on your phone a lot of cars ad, or you want to buy a bicycle type of thing. So that the data is generated by every day. So if you look to yourself, you moving data. So what you do every day on the electronics is a data. This data get collected somehow, get used by somehow, get marketing by somehow, get analyzed by somehow. So, but the data, there is, sorry to use the word, there is a good data and there is a bad data. And there is a data, fudge data. What I mean by fudge data, you could inject a lot of bad data and basically the AI will read it. Remember, the intelligence of AI is as good as the quality of the data. Remember, I told you the law is exactly the two words, Islam and Christians, they know they have the ethical law. Remember, that data from AI, from the AI got access to that data, he pulled the information, he looked at it, and he gave you that statement. But we know this data is not correct because there is another religions and everything in the world. So the importance of the quality data management, you say how you collect the data, how you clean the data, how you cleanse the data, how you store the data, who has access to the data. So now we're talking about privacy. In the privacy, there's so many privacy law. There is the GDPR, which is the European law. There is the HIPAA, which is the American law for health collection. There is the personal identifiable information. There is the personal identity. So there's a lot of data type and all of that. So the privacy of the data, that's the reason if you go to the doctor office today, or you go to say they assign you on a waiver, you such and such, you accept basically to share your data and all of that. So that the important thing is that the support infrastructure, we talked about it. Where is the storage? It could be this storage here in Canada, it could be in the US, it could be in the Caribbean, and how AI going to access the data itself? So what is the infrastructure component? Is basically, I'll make it very simple, is data center, which is a big warehouse. Probably you heard recently that, 2 big data center in the Gulf got hit for whatever reason. So that the data center is a big, massive warehouse, has a computing, has air conditioning, it has a network, and you name it, and the storage. Pretty much, if you look at your computer today, that's basically an infrastructure. Because if you look at your computer, has a processor, has a disk to store storage, and you have some sort of a network, and you have a fan. If you go in the back, you see there is a heating coming out of that. Is really take this one and multiply it by 1 billion times, and that become a data center. Okay, so that really in very simple term. I don't want to spend time on it. What is important, really, the chip technology. I guess some of you already buy NVIDIA chip technology chip. NVIDIA is a stock going to 700, 500 type thing. Because what make the process, in order to process the data in real time, you need a chip. And that chip is not a simple technology. It is very complex technology. Now we are talking going down to the nanometer of basically like, you know, from the diode, which is the size of, a bottle, a can. Now we are talking even the thinner than the hair, because that where is all the processing power. We're talking about the GPU and TPU and all of that. And also what's missing here is actually the quantum computing. Quantum computing, you will be able to process a huge amount of information in a fraction of the time. Okay. The hardware had to be energy efficient and had to be integrated with all of that. So, but in order for the AI to work, need the data, need computing, but really what the AI is hungry for, electricity. They need hydro. And that electricity, if you see, there is a big push in the world to, either go back to nuclear or go to more efficient power to generate that. Because the amount of the electricity consumed by these computing systems is a huge, but actually it's not really the computing system, it's a fraction of actually how you want to keep this the cooling, how you extract the heat from the data center, because in order these to function had to be on a certain temperature. When you go to quantum computing, actually they keep it suspended in liquid nitrogen. I think I don't want to spend much time here, but you get the point. Three or four things, depend how you look at it. You need a data center, which is that encompass electricity, heating, cooling. You need a chip, a processor to process the information. You need a data. But the fourth element missing, you need a human being to develop the module, the logical and the coding in order to take advantage of the data and basically spit it out to you in the information you want. So now is that if you combine all of these, you will end. I don't know how much you know about virtualization. Maybe this is a little bit a complex word. In virtualization, like today, your computer is considered one unit, is a physical. But now we have what the technology has been here for actually 12, 15 years here. Basically, your computer, you can slice it and dice it to a mini small computer. That's what the virtualization is. So basically, it is a technology that really when we are able to do that. We're talking about the software-defined network. We're talking about the storage, and the storage is a world by itself. You have the physical storage, you have the virtual storage, you have the object storage, and all of that. And I won't give you a headache here. This is more like a specialized field for the IT people. But really, just look at what virtualization means. You take your computer, you slice it and dice it to multiple computers, small computer. Each computer can work independently of each other, and they can process a function to do that. So the takeaway, we talk about we talk about specialized equipment. We talk about the integrity of the data, the hardware, and the networking. And the idea is that to build a robust and scalable AI system required to understanding the foundational infrastructure. So initially, we talked about the law, we talked about the AI. In order this AI to work, what he needs, we talked about the technology. Now we go to the third topic, the domain 3. Really, this is the lecture, is the main topic. But in order to get here, I have to tell you a story. So I hopefully domain 1 and 2 and give you the idea to get to here. So why ethic is important? Ethic is really, as a human being, it took us 5,000 years, basically to develop this code of ethic, the custom, the tradition, the court, the human right, and all of that. AI, remember, it developed by a human being. And this a human being could be a good person, could be a bad person, could be a person in between, could be a person influenced by money, maybe could be a person influenced by political motivation. It could be a person influenced by for a criminal act. type. So if I'll give you a good example of ethic. In computing, if you remember your washing machine is really uses PLC programming, program language controller. Well, the nice thing about PLC programming is basically you define a function. That function, logical function, is basically connected to some sort of a hardware. So when you put your clothes in the machine, okay, you close the door and you select the cycle, and you automatically go through the cycle, you know, open the valve, water come in, washing the machine, spin it, you know, get the detergent in, blah, 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 boom, and finish the cycle, and you hear the beep, the function is finished. If you look at it, PLC is a control. It is a start and a beginning, and a human being has control on that. A washing machine is not going to cook for you. You cannot, because the cycle is very defined. This is they call the programming language control. If we look at the other programming today, we are using like Excel file and word processing and everything. This is basically based on input, output. You tell him something, he will do it for you, and end of the cycle. In AI, because the language module is so big, there is a lot of things you can insert in and make it basically work for you or adapt to your behavior, what you want to do. And you saw it in the recent event in the world. So that's the problem. So in AI ethic, how you take this a human being 5,000 years of civilization and development of a code and a custom to a machine language that a human being, I'm talking about the bad actor here, I'm not talking about the good one. So in AI, the statement had to be fair, had to be transparent, had to be privacy, and had to have responsibility. More or less is that whatever, like similar, I give you the example about the civilization, the Mesopotamia, the Egyptian, and all of that. But suddenly, if there is somebody from South America say, oh, wait a second, the Maya civilization 7,000 years ago, where it is, also they have a custom and code. So where is the fairness? Where is the transparency? Because with transparency, I think we understand fairness. Transparency, where is this data? We go back. AI is powered by data. How this data collected, how it be sanitized, who's the custodian of the data, who's the owner of the data, okay? Who's the responsible to work on this data? Who has access to this data? So like if you, the things I developed this presentation to you, I don't have a clue where is the data coming from, correct? Because I trust Copilot and I trust Microsoft, whatever Microsoft give me. But that where is the, excuse me. That is here when come the rationales. So AI does the things for you, but you have to use your judgment to that. And we're talking about the privacy and responsibility. I think I talked too much about this slide. I'm not, because probably I'm running out of time. I hope the moderator give me more time here. I don't want to speed up, but really I want to get to the point, and because that will help us to understand the questions that we need to answer. So like we talked about the bias, the transparency, the issue, and the autonomous risk. So the algorithm bias, we just talked about it, the transparency challenge, the risk of the AI is a critical field cause serious consequences of error occur. How we know, how we going to control the error? How we going to manage the error? Who's going to say what is the error there? And what is the ethical solution? Pretty much you need to have a judge or a court to decide is this data is correct, is this information make right or wrong. So in the global, so that's the reason AI, there is a lot of companies, a few companies working and to develop global standard and regulation. Because a human being without global standard and regulation, things will go wild west type thing. So there is a global regulatory effort, which is starting EU and the European Union. There is ethical guide by IEEE. But remember, all of this is started. There is a corporate ethical principle. If you work for a company today, you get signed every year on the corporate ethical principle. There is, the 10 commandments. You're not supposed to do this one and not supposed to do that. You have to respect your co-worker. You have to do your work ethically. You have to report if there is an incident and all of that. And the important, like in order to develop this framework or guidance for ethical, if it develop in North America, who said that the European going to agree on? Who's going to agree? Who's maybe the Chinese and the Far East? How are they going to agree on it? Are we going to have multiple standards to that? So we are taking one case study, and hopefully this will derive the point here. I'm trying to talk for the last 50 minutes probably. Example, healthcare. So Watson is one of the IBM basically, advanced computing system. Basically, like how we know that some of the hospital they're using AI, which is Watson Health. Like he helping the doctor to identify to help in the diagnostic. It helped them to basically identify, give them the right medication and all of that. Correct. So the guiding AI development is with the principle how you prioritize the fairness and the privacy. You see, remember, this is a key word. Like when you do a programming, is make sure that like when you have this statement, there is some sort of a scale or a balance to say, okay, is this a statement is correct? Is that information correct? Type thing. So what we are introducing now, we see that, take an example of a facial recognition issue, correct? So are you all right? Like if you go today, there's so many cameras, people take your image face and basically they can do all these dimensional things. They can use, your retina, your shape, and use it for bad things, as we saw in the world, like some of the technology company, they're using facial recognition to do bad things, correct? So and we saw it in the real world here. And then the important thing now we are entering, which is some of the companies, and definitely is IBM, one of them, is that basically introducing the ethic in the design itself. So remember, we used to before we learned technology and IT and everything. Now we're introducing, the law, the ethic, and all of that part of the curriculum, so people will understand that any things you develop, you have basically to ask yourself questions that this is fair? Is it I'm protecting privacy? Is it transparent? Is the statement judged or not? So where are we going from here? The future outlook is that definitely we need an ethical AI system or some sort of consortium. We need to have the transparency. We have to include the inclusiveness, because if you see Microsoft has an AI model and Google has an AI model and Jumbo has an AI model, and kids in the university, they have their own AI model. So which AI model you trust and you develop and you use? So in conclusion, the key takeaway for you guys, there is an ethical responsibility. There is all of us, including organization, government, responsible to take things in it, not just to use the technology, but we have to have a say in it. We have to work with others and basically embedding ethic of AI in everything we develop. So the questions we need to answer, and sorry I'm taking a little bit longer, but we go back to questions. So again, the answer I'm going to give is mine, okay? And not necessarily you agree, and most likely you're going to disagree. Is it AI artificial? In my view, it's not. It's not artificial. AI is created by a human being based on 6,000 years of knowledge. So I will use AI as like a tufayli, it's AI. So is it AI intelligent? No. Where is the intelligence of AI came from? Is it from the human being experience for the last 7,000 years? Is AI ethical? No, it's not ethical. Well, it is ethical, it depends. We go back to the data. If you take nothing from today's presentation, think about the data and think about you are a data. You are a moving, living data. Whatever you do today, you are a data. Somebody's collecting it, somebody knows it, somebody's using it for something. So you are the data, and basically there is a big market now for data. people selling data. Their job, take data, collect it, and sell it. Okay. So is it safe? Well, to some extent. Is it evil? Absolutely it is evil. Absolutely it is dangerous if fall in the wrong hand. And of course, evil and dangerous probably. Well, evil is a different. Evil is that you are doing something for no good. Dangerous, yeah, probably. So is it AI taking our job? Absolutely not. AI is not taking our job. AI is helping us to make our job easier, as I did the presentation with AI today. AI is going to be, remember it like a servant, like an argumenter. Somebody will help you to get the job done. But you have to come with all the effort. I'm not going, like if I want to do this presentation today, remember, I have a story. When I asked the team, say, well, I'm going to write this lecture, I have to come with an idea as a human being. So I have to develop the story. We call it the story. You have a beginning, you have an end, and sorry, middle and end, and you have, and you are as a human being, you want to deliver a message. What is this message? AI cannot do that for you. The only thing you have to come with the framework, with the blueprint. Again, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the journey with ethical AI, and I hope you learned something today, and thank you very much for listening for me for the last probably 50 minutes. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Sorry, I have to say, I guess.